Joke's on you. I had glasses the entire time. What? But you can see the reflection, so you know. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer, and today I wanted to talk about myself and why I'm on YouTube, and to actually complete the BookTuber Newbie Tag and answer some of the questions there to give you a better idea, and even myself a better idea of why I'm starting this challenge. So to begin, I have the questions on my phone. Why did you start this channel? Well, honestly, the idea of this channel has been in my mind for the past year. I really like reading books, and I like sharing my opinion of books with my friends, but it's been difficult with everything happening to get in contact and to share these ideas, when typically when I did reunite with my friends, we were catching up on so many different other topics that what we were reading and the book topics didn't really come up, or when it did, it was really late in the night and I was half asleep, and I didn't really have the energy to go into either gushing or ranting about the books that I was currently reading. So this channel is my way of connecting with my friends again. Hey girls. And basically just, telling them about the stuff that I'm reading. Now, question 2 is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? I don't know. I have never been very good at selling myself, like whether it's in interviews or just talking about myself. I've never been good at being like, I'm good at this and this and this, and I'm amazing. If you need somebody to do this, I'm there. I've never been that person, so explaining what I would bring to BookTube is also hard to think about and really boil down to any kind of one idea. Overall, I hope to just bring myself and bring my point of view and my likes and dislikes of books. I tend to read a lot of different things. I tend to be very opinionated about the books that I do like and the books that I don't like. So I hope that regardless of whether we disagree or agree with each other, that you still find some enjoyment out of what I'm saying. And if you also agree that a book sucks, that you can enjoy my rant, and hopefully it touches on the points of what you also didn't like in the book. So question 3 is, what are you most excited for about this new channel? Just connecting with my friends. Honestly, just being able to talk about books again with them, and sharing my opinion with them again, and sharing them with all of you as we get to know each other, and whatever future will come from this, whether I continue to do this for a year, 2 years, for a couple of months, for a couple of years. I can't imagine that happening, but life is full of surprises. So whatever will bring. Question 4. Why do you love reading? I love reading, I think, for the same reason that a lot of people love reading, and that's to escape, to be in different worlds, to pretend to be other people, to have sometimes the grace and the ability to speak so eloquently that authors give their characters the ability to do, especially in moments of stress or moments of anger or embarrassment. There are always characters that speak so well, things that you wish you could say in the moment. And that's why I love reading. It gives me that catharsis of just being like, oh yeah, if I could go back in time, I would definitely say that. And other than that, like, reading was initially a way for me to learn English and to practice my English. And so I have a a big fondness for reading because of that. It really gave me the ability to be more eloquent in a second language that eventually became my first. And just all in all, reading has always been a big part of my life, and I can't imagine not having it in my life anymore. Question 5. What book or series got you into reading? My first series was the Bulgarian. It's actually somewhere here, but I'm not going to go digging through my bookshelf. I have brought the first book, Pawn of Prophecy, with me everywhere that I've traveled, everywhere that I've moved. It's always come with me. It's part nostalgia, part fondness, part home that I can't leave without, or live without, actually. I love that series. It's 5 books, and then there's The Malorian, which is another 5 books. It's by Dan Eddings or David Eddings, and he wrote it with his wife. And I love it. I recommend it. You should read it. You should read it right now. Like, stop what you're reading, and if you're into fantasy, read David Eddings's The Bulgarian, because it's worth it. It's great. Has a lot of strong female characters for a book that got published like in the 80s. It has a lot of like different races for a book that was published in the 80s, and it does so pretty gracefully. Some things haven't aged well, but I think overall it comes from a good place, and I can't not speak highly of it enough. I could go on a long rant, so we should just get to the next question, if you don't mind. If you want me to rant, just like put it in the comments and I'll squee even more about it. Question 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? This is, I think, a particular question that I don't know how to answer, because although I have watched a lot of booktubers, I don't feel like I know them well enough to be able to ask questions just based off of the content that they share. Not only that, they seem, all of them, to be pretty forthcoming. They share a lot of different opinions about the books that they like and their lifestyles and like where they're moving and where they're going. So I don't think that there's anything that they haven't shared already in their content that I'm not curious about. I'm not really somebody who would ask about their personal life, because I can respect the fact that this is almost like a job, and you don't always need to talk about your personal life or even your health for that matter. So anything that they share, comments and opinions about books, is what I'm there to watch for, and so that's what I would have questions about, and I'm perfectly happy with what they share. So continue what you're doing, because I really like it, and it seems that a lot of people like them as well, considering all the subscribers that they have. Next is 7. What challenges do you think starting a BookTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Just creating content and thinking of the kind of content that I want to produce and I want to film and I want to post. Also, how kind of shy I am about posting. Like, it took me a while to even just sit down and film this, even though it's been something that I know I wanted to do. I just keep overthinking it in my head and being like, what if I come across really embarrassing? Or what if somebody I know watches this? Ooh. I think it'll be fine. And honestly, at this point, I don't care. So if you are somebody that I know, welcome. Hi, I hope we've talked recently. If we haven't, let me know. Comment below if you liked what you watched, and I hope I see you again in my next video, because I'd like your support, and it would mean a lot to me that if you thought that I brought some joy into your life and some positivity, and if I even encourage you to read more, because that's what I'm looking for in life. 8. When did you start reading? I don't know. I don't know the age. honestly, I remember why I learned how to read. And it's because my older sister, there's always like Sunday and Saturday morning cartoons. And basically, there used to be a card before the episode would start about like what the episode was called. And I remember always asking her to read it to me because I couldn't read. And one day I remember her turning back to me and saying, just learn how to read already. And so I got really frustrated with her because she refused to read any of the cards moving forward. So I basically forced myself to learn how to read so I could watch my favorite cartoons and read the intro cards and know what the heck was happening. I know that I read poetry, French poetry, and I know that the first series that really got me into reading fantasy and just reading like voraciously was the Bulgariad. And I remember that was in elementary school. So for sure, I became in love with reading when I was 5, maybe even younger, 4. I don't know. I'm going to say like 6 because that seems like a good age. And I don't know if I can be one of those people that's like, I read when I was 4, because I think that's a bit, I don't know, presumptuous of me. So I'm going to say 6 because that's when we all start reading, right? So probably that's when I start to fall in love with reading. 9. Where do you read? Usually on my phone, because ebooks are a thing from the library, either in the living room or in bed. Those are my 2 locations. I used to read on the bus when I took public transit, but then I moved closer to my work, so I would just walk. And recently, because of the panorama, the panini, I work from home, so I don't have, the transportation time to read, the transit time to read actually. So I tend to have to block off time to read now and really focus on that. I am trying to get back into ebooks by using that as my time to work out and to entertain myself while I'm working out, because working out is not fun. Although I'm trying to make it fun, but that's a whole other discussion. But all to say, I usually read in the evenings. I'm trying to listen to more audiobooks while I'm working out, or podcasts. And I used to read when I was traveling to and from school and to and from work, but that's not happening anymore, so we'll see what the future brings. Question 10. What kind of books do you like to read? I like books written by women. I like books with female characters as leads, so that tends to gear me towards female writers, because men, in my experience, don't really know how to write female characters. I will give them a shot and I will read books with male leads, but I tend to read female main characters. I tend to read books by women. I tend to read books that appeal to me, so women who are first generation immigrants, people who are multicultural. I tend to read anything really, except I'm not really big into mystery or thriller or true crime. That's not really my jam. I do read it. I have read it. One of the friends that the reason why I'm creating this channel for, is huge into mystery, true crime, and she does recommend books in that genre, and I have read them, but nothing really has really stood out to me to make me say that I love that genre. But I tend to read fantasy, YA, adult fiction. I've got into poetry last year, so poetry, and I'm really enjoying right now short fiction or anthologies from different authors, because it really helps introduce me to different authors. And I also find that when I'm in a reading rut, it helps make reading less of a mountain to climb or to overcome, because I'm reading a short story. When I'm finished reading it, I feel really accomplished, and that makes me want to read more. So it motivates me to read a longer book, or even like finish a book that I hadn't I had put down because it kind of had a slow part and I lost interest. So yeah, that's what I read. And question 11. What does your book collection look like? Looks like this. Whole mess. Mess. It is slightly organized. It is completely disorganized. It is a mess. It basically has some logic to it. Like this one is kind of like my historical fiction, so I have Georgette Heyer here, and anything that's kind of like Victorian or yeah, I put it here. This one is my pile of to be read. Here is like my like fantasy, I would say. Fantasy. These are my like nonfiction / I read, didn't like, and I'm gonna get rid of. And yeah, this I have moved many times, so I've had to really limit the amount of books that I can have in one place. And so I try to keep the books that I really love, or I've just kept books that I purchased over the between the years that I've traveled, and so they just come with me because I can't bring them back to my parents' house and just deposit them, because my mom would tell me that, this isn't storage. This isn't charity, so either you keep it or you donate it. And because I tend to read books and then digest them for some time and then decide if I want to keep them or not, I've kept them, a lot of them, and I should probably actually donate a few that I know I don't like anymore, but I haven't gotten around to it because I am a procrastinator. Yeah. So this is what my bookshelves look like. I'm hoping to be able to save up to buy a really beautiful bookshelf and fill it up with all the books that I love. And I hashtag goals is to one day own a house. I'm confessing, is to have a house with one of those big bay windows, and then the 3 walls are all bookshelves and like floor to ceiling bookshelves, because Beauty and the Beast. And then in the middle is a desk with a really cool chair, old timey, vintage. And I also have these really nice chaise lounge thing with like a cute little coffee table, and I would sit there like a cat and I would read, and the sun would come in and it would be perfect. So that's what I want. But I don't have the amount of books. I would need to probably fit or fill 3 walls of books. I should probably be less picky. So maybe I should keep these books. Okay. Let me know what you think. Should I keep them? Should I get rid of them? What's your hashtag goal and vision of your perfect reading room or book room? And if you have any other questions that I can ask, please, or that you want to ask me and that I can answer, please let me know. And yeah, welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy the videos, and I hope to get to know you, and you hope to get to know me better as the months progress. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day wherever you are, and I'll see you soon. Bye.